Hey, I got a tool trivia for you. Which one of these is a caulking gun? Seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? They both are. I'm going to show you what this crazy thing is about right after this. Okay, so hey, I was sent this really interesting looking caulking gun to check out. Now this is a sponsored video. They are paying me to put this video out, but I'm going to give you my honest review like always. I'm going to see if there's anything negative about it, find out how it works, what the benefits are, etc. Now, of course, I did a little research and I watched some videos and content to see what the features are so I know what I'm going to expect here. So basically, this is a really new design. There's never been anything like it. I think it's pretty cool. So first of all, let's talk about, it looks like it can't possibly work. It's got this big thing in the back. It just looks like some kind of ray gun or something. But no, let me go over the features of it. Number one, it has a hanging hook. That's always handy. With your traditional gun, you've got a hanging hook. Number two, it's compact. Let's compare. I'd say it's pretty compact. Yeah, you can push that tube in, but even if you do, we're still talking 3 or 4 times as long. Way more compact to carry around in a toolbox or something. That's a bonus. It has the little hanging, rope here. Normally caulking guns, most all of them have some form of puncture tool on them. They're all kind of different. This one is right here on this gun. Sometimes they're up here. Well, this one has that too. They didn't leave that out. You just pull this out here, and if you need to puncture a foil seal inside, or if it clogs and you want to dig it out, clean this off, stick it back in here. It fits in here really snugly. It's kind of a spring action. So I like that. I know you're still wondering, but how does it work? Well, we're going to get to that. Okay, as far as construction quality, best I can tell, it feels durable. Most everything or so much is going to plastic these days because honestly, plastics are tough. You can often drop them and they just don't crack. I've got a Drywall cordless I've dropped many times from 6 feet, 8 feet, never cracked the case yet, and it's not that thick. So this thing feels plenty sturdy. It's got reinforcement ribbing inside the trigger where you might break it, and it just feels like it's going to hold up pretty decent. Plus, I'm pretty sure that this is a resilient type of resin that if you drop it, well, it should survive. Let's see if it did. We just bounced it off the floor. Let's bounce it off the floor again. Okay, that's twice. I don't see any cracking, no damage at all. It's plastic. There's a lot of different types of plastic out there. MDPE, medium density polyethylene, low density, ABS. There's all kinds of different ones out there. I don't know what this is made of. I don't need to know that to know if it's any good or not. But hey, let's torture test the heck out of it. Okay, after all that, I finally found the weak spot. It did crack that little part right there. I think that's pretty minor because I honestly put this thing through like years of abuse. If you drop your caulking gun that much, you need to get a new job or something. So I think it held up really well, but I would suggest reinforcing this part right here. Okay, I wanted to share an update with you. I've been in contact with the manufacturer directly. I let them know about this issue with the hook, and it turns out they already realized that part needs redesigned. So they're working on that right now, and that inspires me to go ahead and say that I would recommend this. You know that I did drop this like 20 times before I got that to break, so you would have to drop it on concrete pretty hard to break it, but it still is something they identified. They're working on it, so that tells me they do care about input from creators like us and their customer. So I still give this a thumbs up, and I would buy one. What I need to know is, does it work? So here's the concept behind this. With this, it has a cutting blade that's up in here where it can't hurt you. It does have kind of a plunger, but what it does is it pulls the tube through here, and as it goes through here, it's cutting the back side of it. Now, like I said, I started this tube, so you can probably see that it has cut it a little bit so far. So it just pulls it through. It's got a plunger that's pushing it out the whole time. The way they designed it, it says it has a 12-to-1 leverage ratio here, so it should have plenty of power, and it's a dripless design. I played with it a little bit. I can confirm that it did seem like a dripless design, but we're going to play with it some more and show you. So let's load this thing up and see if it works, shouldn't we? All right, now first of all, I'm going to give you a little tip. I did this on a shorts video. A lot of times when you load a caulking gun up, traditionally you put it in here, you get your knife out, you make a 45, and you go to caulking. Well, then you come back a little bit, later, you move on to something else, a different window, you go to caulking again, and the tube rotated, or maybe the whole gun rotated. And now your 45 is pointing the wrong direction. Here's how you solve that. Always put the label straight up on top of the caulking gun, and then when you cut it from the bottom up. You got your 45. When you go to caulk, each time you just look down, you know if that thing's rotated or not. It's easy to see how to fix it. On this one, you're not going to have that problem, but I would still recommend do the same cut procedure. Put the label up, you stick this in, you pull this little lever here, they call it the clutch. Did I just double clutch? Okay, we're going to go extra fast. You stick it in here. I would stick it in with this center lined up with the label so that your 45 is right there. You push it in till it seats. I've already used it a little bit, so I can push it a little further. And now it's loaded. Now when you pull the trigger, it's going to pull the tube through here and push the caulk out of it. So let's try it out. We're just gonna squeeze some lines out here on the board. I'm gonna first start with just a nice kind of slow line if I wanted to do a, just a gentle caulking line. That works fine. Let's go for a medium one, medium speed. Now there, what I did is I squeezed a little faster, moved a little faster, it gets the same bead. If we want a heavier bead, we can get that, just go a little slower, squeeze a little faster. Now that's one pull, and I'm still going. So it goes quite a long ways on one pull. It says it's a dripless design. It seems to be working. That's a big feature. This one right here is a dripless design. It uses a different way of doing it. But let's compare something real quick here. Let's compare the length. Which one is more compact? There's times you're going to want to get into someplace awkward, tight, cramped, and do a little caulking. I think this makes a lot of sense for getting into those tight spaces. So far, so good. Let's do some more. Still dripless, still going. I'm going to keep caulking because I want to get the caulking out the back of the tube here. It even writes your name. I don't know how it knew that, but no, seriously, getting back to it, yeah, there's a tiny little bit hanging out there. I get that even with that gun, but overall it stops. Even a lot of these dripless caulking guns that I've owned, and I've owned dozens of them, they often still drip right at the very beginning when the tube is new. There's something about it. So this one's not even doing that. I mean, I'm thinking about it, trying to think what else can I point out here. I'm honestly not thinking about many problems with it. Now I'm going to quickly squirt some out in my box because I still want this to stick out more. I've got to clean that off in a minute. So I'm going to have to call in a cleaning crew. Okay, so you can see that the premise of this is it's really never going to be much longer than the length of your caulking tube. It will be a little bit longer in the beginning, but it stays nice and compact. Okay, another thing they pointed out is as this tube comes out the back, you can see that it's cutting it. So if I can open that up for you, I think you can see that. So it's just literally splitting it as it comes out the back. Now, if this comes out and you get a decent amount out here and you don't want that sticking out back, you need that to be really compact, cut it off. Take your razor knife, cut that back end off. And I don't know if there's enough sticking out that I could do that right now, but you would just cut all around here, shorten it up again. Now when you're done, or you want to change to a different product, you just release the clutch. Don't do a burnout. God, I'm such a hot rodder. Let me wipe this off, just minor drip again. And I'm going to show you what it did up the tube here. So it just splits the tube up, but it only splits it up to the plunger. So it's not harming the tube at all. If you want to put it back in here, you need to reload it. That's another reason to put that label straight up. You just put it right back in the way it was, pull the clutch, kind of get that blade to guide in there. At least this is how I think I would do it. Yep. And just push it back and you're reloaded. And again, to unload it, if you've got it pretty empty, they say you can just kind of smack it like that and just pull it out. Honestly, it slides out pretty good. So far I'm pretty, oh, I think I broke it. Nope, still going. I'm kidding. I'm torture testing this thing. I'm honestly pretty impressed with this. I'm actually really impressed. This is going to be my go-to caulking gun. I just can't really think of a reason I want this long design anymore. That rod sticking out the back has always been a pain in the butt. And then you got to pull it out. The way it comes out, I have a feeling this will leak around it more and get more in there and clog it up. I don't see any leakage on this, so I don't know if it did. I suppose you could take a hose and wash it out while it's still fresh. But if you want to check this thing out, I'm going to put a link in the description right below. I'm not going to cut that out. Anyway, I'm going to put a link in the description right below. You just open up the description like this and then they show more. It's kind of a two-step procedure anymore. And you'll see the links to these on Amazon. And hey, if you want to know how to caulk professionally, nice clean beads, check out this video. That video right there will help you out a lot. I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.